This is Tumbuna TV News. Population remains a major challenge for the government in development, and that's according to Prime Minister Peter O'Neill. It seems family planning and other related issues are yet to be fully digested by Papua New Guineans across the board. O'Neill said despite the national government's development aspirations, much cannot be done against a threatening ever-increasing population. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill shares the concern that a huge population strains efforts on development. Impacts of this social issue are cross-cutting and have implications on various aspects of development as Papua New Guinea experiences rapid changes.
Our biggest challenge is population. 3%, over 3% per annum is one of the highest in the world. Doesn't matter how many jobs we create, we cannot keep up with that growth of population.
Thus, it is necessary to educate Papua New Guineans on the importance of having a population that is manageable. Only by doing so can the government be ridden of some burden, O'Neill said.
We have to teach our people to have less families and give them the kids the quality that they deserve. No one can begin in nothing. I know, our people still have yet to get that family planning process moving, but I think it's very important because there are more and more young kids coming through the education system, and when they are not skilled properly, they will create problems for us in the future. This is why education and skilling them is very important. We want to make sure that we are now investing quite heavily in education.
Again, at the national level, the government is tasked to make some tough decisions and allocate resources where necessary to complement the country's rapid population growth. Papua New Guinea's approximate 12 billion kina budget for this year is no exception, the Prime Minister said.
Roughly our budget is about 12 billion kina a year. 12 billion kina a year. Out of the 12 billion, we pay 6 billion to maintain all our police, public servants, all the maintenance of health workers, all the infrastructure, all these things they spend. The public servants used to consume close to more than half before. But we have been able to cut it down, and we want to cut it down even further because we think that it must be slimmer and more efficient public service in the country. The savings that we make from that we will invest in other sectors. So 6 million goes to public servants, 3 million goes to education, including free education, 2 million goes to funding our 10-year, 2 billion goes to funding our 10-year health plan per annum every year. Almost 1.5 billion goes to the districts and the provinces.
Once that is exhausted, the government is left with few other options to cater for the people. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill further echoed Minister for Treasury Patrick Pruitt's statements made a few days earlier while also in Medellin on how such pressures prompt the government to broaden the country's economy, steering away from the mining and petroleum sector, which Papua New Guinea had over the years relied heavily on.
But again, our country is spending all this money now into those areas that I've said. The 12 billion is going, so we must expand our economy. And that does not mean that opening up a new mine and opening up a new gas field or oil field. We must invest in tourism and agriculture, fisheries, forestry. That is the future of the country. That is where our people have been surviving for thousands of years without anybody else's help. Self-reliance comes from them. Working the land, working at your sea, working at your river systems and looking after your forest.
Minister Pruitt earlier noted that the country has failed to utilize other industries for greater development. Nonetheless, it seems the government has finally come to its senses, looking at options to fully explore tourism, agriculture and other sectors so as to expand the country's economy.